Anand David is a breakthrough scientist. He heads Manfort Alliance, an organizational development firm. He has worked with several organizations both in India and abroad. He uses some pretty unconventional methods to shake us out of our comfort zones, including arousing both aspiration and disgust. He calls it violating the way you think, value, and believe. Anand, how did your interest in this area come about?
I came across scientists who were working on exceptional behavior. Why do people want to be extraordinary? Why do they want to step out and be different? And came across a scientist called David McClelland. He used to visit our country, especially a small town called Kakinada, where he found that a small portion of the people are able to sustain exceptional behavior over a long period of time. And he called those people with high need for achievement.
What are some of the reasons that people are held back from being exceptional performers?
The primary reason is that we are conditioned people. Just like animals are conditioned, so also human beings are conditioned. We are deterministic in the way we see life. We are deterministic because of the genes that we have, or the psychoprofile that we have, or the environment we come from. So if there's a stimulus, there's a tendency to respond immediately to the stimulus. Whereas between the stimulus and the response is a small gap. And we can actually manage a small gap and look for alternatives. Okay, that's the real trick.
What's the kind of prison that belief systems, conditioning can put people into, and how does this hold them back?
See, if we take the example of teachers, okay, the belief is this is how we need to teach. If we take an illustration from leadership, this is the way to lead. So we are trapped in our ways of leading, in the ways of teaching, in the ways of learning, and hence we come from that automatic way of being. And we'll only do what we've always done.
Companies also get conditioned to certain ways of doing business.
100%. They have their own cultures. They have their own ways, repeatedly doing it again and again and again, and ultimately they get trapped. They would not even know that to shift your fingers from here to here, it's going to be uncomfortable. And when they do it for the first time, they say, oh, from shifting from here to here is uncomfortable. I can imagine what's going to happen if I'm going to shift the whole organization the way it is presently functioning. So the whole learning there is that all breakthroughs are accompanied by discomfort. No breakthrough ever takes place inside the comfort zone. It's always when we dare to step out.
Your work with companies involve?
We are primarily in the unsettling business and demonstrating possibilities which they have not considered before. Typically we would take the people who are in the top management through an experience called defreezing, moving and freezing. In simple terms, it just means that whatever behaviors you have currently in the way you lead are unsettled in a 4-day, 4-night intervention. How do we actually multiply people in our organization? Now the person who had come and said never ever knew that there was a process of coaching and mentoring which could actually multiply in a far higher manner or many more in a shorter span of time. And when he went through this exercise, he said, what really happened to me was that I saw something that I never ever knew during the workshop. And soon after, my company's turnover doubled and then went up threefold just because I stepped out and did something which I never ever done.
And what did he see?
He actually saw the process of multiplying, which he never knew how to do it. He knew that he was good, but he did not know how to make 6 people just like him. So the whole thing was relying on him. And he discovered that on that particular day, he said, the bottleneck in my bottle is at the top.